You've tried everything. The consequences, the talks, the rewards, taking everything away, giving more chances, anything that you can think of. And maybe anything that your child's therapist has told you to try. I'm sure that you've been giving it a shot. But the problem is that it just keeps getting worse. And maybe you've noticed this too, and this is a trend that I've noticed over the years, is that every spring things start to fall apart in a bigger way, or they just seem to kind of implode, like we've just been leading to this moment. And while everybody else is talking about their summer plans, you are wondering if you're even going to be able to finish this school year and just get through the next few weeks without major meltdowns. A lot of times the families that I've worked with explain how the kids barely made it through the school year. And you might already be thinking, like, how am I going to do this every single day when it's summer? And what is next year going to look like? And how do we get this under control? You may even be feeling like, I can't do it. I can't keep doing this. Here's the part that most people aren't going to tell you. Most parenting strategies are built for kids that are already cooperative. They're cooperative kids. They are kids that can pause and think. They are kids that can make good choices in the moment. They can connect. They can see at least a little bit of cause and effect. And they can regulate enough to try to do better. And your child, they can't do that right now. Not consistently, not under stress, and not when things get really hard. So when everything is built around, you need to make a better choice, you knew better, try again, you earned this, or now you're losing this privilege, when everything in your family system is kind of built around that, what happens is that there's more anxiety, there's more failure, there's a lot more power struggles, and more escalation. And it's not because your child is manipulative. It's because the strategy that you're being told to use doesn't match their child's behavior is getting worse. It's not random. It is a sign of overload. It's a sign of dysregulation. It's a lack of felt safety. And it shows us that there are skills that have not been developed yet. And I'm just here to tell you that spring makes it, and that is because, these are my theories about this, is because there's these big transitions from spring to summer. It's burnout from the school year. It's the time change. In some states, there's the time change. There's the changes in weather, changes in routine, and anticipation of way less structure. So the system that was barely holding things together, maybe it's even the school system, as much as there might be some conflict and struggles there, it starts to really crack. And then you do what you've been taught to do. You have more consequences. You try to have more control. You might be lecturing more. You might be trying to help them understand. You might be trying to get them to understand. You might be trying to talk them into, like, hey, there's only 3 weeks of school left. Like, let's finish strong. Let's get this done. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great summer. And then it all backfires because you're trying to use logic on a brain that's basically been hijacked, and they aren't using their executive functioning skills, the logical part of their brain. They're operating out of the emotional and reactive part of their brain. And even though they might have moments where it seems like they perfectly understand, their behavior is showing us something different. So I do things differently, and I want to help you to see some things that actually work. And these are the ways that I'm different in this. I don't lead with choice. I lead with structure. Choice is earned through regulation. When a child is more regulated, they are able to make a choice. And yet kids that are highly dysregulated, that are very impulsive, they are going to really struggle with having open choices, and you will see it as a struggle even with having two choices. Do you want to do this, or would you like to do this? And so even though you may have been taught that giving kids choices is such a good thing, I'm here to tell you that it can really backfire on you. If your child is struggling, too many choices are going to create anxiety and power struggles. And you're going to see more power struggles in the giving all the choices, and more power struggles create more anxiety for you and for the child. So instead of what do you want to do, I recommend that it becomes, this is when it's very calm and clear and predictable. It's not mean, it's not sassy, it's not bossy. It's just saying, this is what we're doing today. And it takes a load off of the child. The other thing that I do that's different is I focus on regulation. And if your child is escalated, there's nothing that you can say that is going to land. Even if they are arguing back with you, you just have to understand that when they're dysregulated, and now you're becoming dysregulated, that this isn't going to produce the results that we want. So instead of correcting in the moment, we have to stabilize the child. And sometimes that stabilizing looks like creating safety. It may look like reducing demands. It may be moving in physically closer, or just far enough that you don't get hurt. It's using fewer words, and it's holding boundaries. The third thing that I do that's different than a lot of other therapists might tell you is that I stop over-explaining. I think that there is a lot of information out there about why your child behaves this way, and why they feel this way, and trying to get kids to tell you what they feel and all of that. And there ends up being a lot of talking, way too much talking, explanations about why we have to make our bed or why we have to go to school. And it's so far out in the future that most kids they're not even tracking if they're hearing you at all. Explaining, teaching, and most of it is to convince them. It's like we want them to feel better about what we're telling them to do, or we want them to feel the same way that we feel about it. And they probably aren't going to, but if they're dysregulated, the language is going to increase the overwhelm, because we're coming at it from the frontal lobe, and they're not in that part of their brain. They're in the reactive and emotional part of their brain. So you want to be very clear and short and direct. I've got this. We're moving. It's time. And it doesn't, again, it's not rude. It's not demanding. It's not sassy. You can do this and be calm and kind, and it can be even more kind than the lecture or the coming alongside and trying to explain, Fourth is that I build safety and leadership and not control. I'm not trying to teach you to control your child. I do want you to be in charge. And that is a leadership thing. Your child doesn't need you to control them unless their behavior is out of control. Then we have to use more control in order to keep people safe, right? That's the same thing for adults in our society. Is if we have out of control behaviors, if we're not safe, then we're going to have more external control. But we're not trying to control every move that your child makes. We want them to feel that you are steady and that you can handle this, and that they actually don't have to run the show, and they are not your emotional support kid. You don't need them to support you. You are there to support them, and that you know what to do. And that's a big part of leadership. It's not that we don't have questions or that we do everything perfectly, but you know what you're going to do and how you're going to create that safety for them. And I think that's the part that I have to help parents with the most, especially if you have a child that is very aggressive or has a lot of meltdowns or out of control behavior, to actually know what to do. So here's why it matters right now, because summer is coming, and as summer removes the structure that has been holding things together, even maybe just barely, If nothing changes, you're about to have more time, less support, and more exposure to behaviors that are already exhausting you all day, every day. And just hoping that it's going to get better, it's not. And that's why I'm teaching a live workshop. It's going to be next Tuesday, April 28th. And it's not going to just be tips, but it's going to help you to develop a clear plan and maybe look at some things through a different lens, tools that will actually work for kids that are struggling. I'm going to walk you through why summer gets harder and what your child actually needs from you and how to create structure without constant battles. So you don't go into summer just hoping that you will survive. You go in with a plan. So if you're already feeling that stress building, this is for you. I'm going to put the sign up in the description, and you can put that in your browser and you can sign up. It's going to be at 12 o'clock Mountain Time next Tuesday on the 27th, I think. Next Tuesday on the 28th, 12 o'clock Mountain Time. I hope that you'll be there.